All right, you're looking live at the Nasdaq daily chart here, and we can see today was an epic day. It was an important day for the index as it sliced its 200 simple moving average here, which it had not done. It hadn't traded below the 200 since way back here in March. So a significant day. It closed 1.4% below the 200, and like I always say, are the institutions supporting the market? And obviously the answer is no. How do I know? Because these big pink volume bars, these are the big day, the up volume days are sell days. They're just selling this market. And I think what's happening here is you're getting a little bit of a re-rating on earnings, the multiple contractions. It might have been a little high there in the SPY, S&P 500 stocks, I should say. And now they're going to come in a little bit. And, the earnings are still good. The earnings are the same, but it's just like a $10 in earnings with a 10 multiple is $100 stock. But $10 in earnings with a 9 or an 8 multiple is a $90 or an $80 stock. And usually what happens is that they correct or they sell to the downside, they overcorrect. The pendulum swings way too much to one side, and they sell quality stocks out with the junky stocks, and that's where the opportunity lies. So our job is to find quality stocks that are going to have good earnings in 2024, and that they've sold too much. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. This is Apple, though. This is looking a lot like the index, in that it sliced its 200 and closed at 2% below. So it's a little bit weaker than the index. The earnings reports, they're just terrible. They're getting sold. Any news is bad news. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's bad news. Google, this is Microsoft, which had a nice spike on earnings yesterday, gave it all back today and closed right there near its 50 SMA. So any stock above the 50 is good, and that's a 0.5% above the 50. I slipped and said Google. Yes, Google sold off with earnings yesterday and followed through to the downside today. You can see the big volume. So institutions are just selling this stock. There's no two ways about it. You just got to get out of their way, let them sell. And when the dust settles, we'll come in and pick up some of the good stocks out of the scrap heap. Like I said, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Meta Platforms, good earnings report like Google, but the problem is, CapEx spending, they're going to slice their guidance a little bit, not spend as much. And Wall Street didn't like that, give them a haircut of a nice 3.7% today. That one closed, 5% below its 50. So Meta got the haircut today. Amazon with the report after the bell. I'm going to get to this one later on. That'll be one more thing. How about that? Tesla sliced its 200, then now it's acting as resistance. You can see it sliced it, came up to it, now getting pushed back down below it, down 3% today. So that's the problem with the with trading underneath the technical moving averages. NVDA is still well above the 200, but 9.9% below the 50. So it's got a long way to go. But this is what I wanted to point out here. I also wanted to point out that the low on the NVIDIA today was below 400, 398, closed above it. But if you go back a year, let's just go back 1 year and take this date back to October of 2022, NVIDIA was trading at $108 and nobody wanted it, right? It's at the end of this big correction. You could say these, 1, 2, 3 legs down in the stock, 108, nobody wants it. And we had noticed that it was up like 4 weeks in a row, and I figured that it had bottomed. Did I buy it? No, I should have, but I didn't. But this thing went from 108 to $500. It was a 5-bagger right here. We noticed that it made this low, then reversed and went up like four weeks in a row, then went sideways. I should have bought it, but that's what I'm looking for now in these stocks in 2023 or perhaps 2024. I'm still expecting a rally towards the end of the year. It's not out of the question at all. Just you got to get out of their way if they're selling right now. But anyway, I pointed that out from NVIDIA just to you got to keep vigilant. You got to stay disciplined. Don't give up. You know, this market is going to give us some opportunities. You just got to let the selling subside, and then we'll pick up the scrap heaps on some good stocks. I don't think it'll be NVIDIA. It'll be another stock. Could be a retail stock, could be a home builder, could be a biotech stock. They've been beaten up a lot. But I'll be looking out for that. Anyway, that's enough of that. Speaking of biotech and drug stocks, NVO, my last holding, just barely hung on to the 50 today. They report earnings next week, and it'll probably get shellacked on earnings as well. 0.5% above the 50, down 2% today, while the Nasdaq was down, more than 1%. So pretty typical stuff. Eli Lilly been on our watch list, traded down to the 50 today at 568, something like that. Yeah, 568, and that's where it closed. So yeah, we'll see if it gets bounced tomorrow. Another biotech drug stock is VRTX, which just pulled back to its 21. So the biotechs are looking good. I did want to mention some of the stocks, on earnings that have been getting hammered, besides the obvious Google, Meta platforms. Align, I mean, this one just got destroyed. The CEO saying that people aren't going to the dentist anymore. Maybe they're buying Ozempic and Mounjaro. But down 25% haircut. That's not funny if you're long that stock. That's a brutal hit, 25% in a day. But this is what earnings season has become now. It's just real big spikes and real sharp sell-offs, and it's because of the Reg FD. But there's no more pre-announcements. Align could have pre-announced 3 weeks ago, still would have been heavy selling. This is VRT, and I mentioned this candle yesterday, this bearish engulfing candle, followed through to the downside today, closed with an inverted hammer. So that does not look good for Vert. And all these companies can do is deliver earnings, and it's up to the market to decide what they're going to pay. And like I said, you could have $1 million home, what you think is $1 million home, and the appraiser says it's worth 900,000, and the highest bidder is 800,000. Well, guess what? Your home's worth 800,000 because that's what people are willing to pay for it. It's what the market will bear. And right now, the market's not bearing much. The prices are coming down. This is a Tractor Supply. Nice 5% haircut on earnings. Visa had good earnings. They talked about a strong consumer, and down today more than 2%. Pretty rough. Snap is a company that the Snap, just I don't even know why I mentioned Snap. It was down big on earnings. Got a little bit of a bounce today. Probably some short covering there at the 50, but that stock's terrible. MXL, another one, reports earnings, sells off 22%. I mean, that's just brutal. So this is just a real tough time of year. Even a stock like Mattel, they had the big Barbie bash this summer, and down 7%. They're talking about all this stuff for Christmas, but Wall Street's not buying it, folks. And Arista Networks, they didn't even have earnings. It was just the Meta platform said they're going to cut their capital expenditures, and this stock sold off nearly 9% on the Meta the conference call where Zuckerberg said they're going to cut their capex spending a little bit. This thing sold off immediately. And I'm just going to go through a couple stocks that on the watch list. I already went through Novo Nordisk at the 50. INSW is one that's hanging in there. Up today on just a terrible tape. So you can see the volume coming in here, and on the weekly, International Seaways looks pretty good here. With the base on base pattern, that second base is a cup with handle. So that looks pretty good. AEO, American Eagle Outfitters, nice inside day. Was that an inside day today? Yeah, it was a quiet day today. Yeah, it looks like an inside day. Anyway, it's flat or down 1% while the index is down like crazy. So AEO is holding up well. Another oil and gas stock. This is U.S. exploration. Permian is holding above its 21. It came down to its 21 today and bounced and closed 2.1% above. So down 19 cents on a day like today. Not bad. I'd call that a wash. What are the ones that we have on our list? Oh yeah, Range Resources. This one had a bullish engulfing candles that pull back to its 21 and close near the high of the session. That's a 84% of its daily range. So nice sharp move down from 33.13 up to $35. So that one looks good as well. And the last one I'm going to post is Kratos defense. So this one's just, I really like this. If the market was better, I mean, this thing's trading sideways, getting good volume, as the tape has been really weak, as this is not going down. So that's always a good sign. And anyway, that's it for me, except for one more thing. Amazon reported after the bell. That's going to save the market, right? It's up 3%. Traded down almost to its 200. We'll see what happens. Meta was up yesterday after reporting, and saw what happened today. But Amazon, strong report. And we'll just see how the investors treat it tomorrow. It's really been a tough time. I have to go early today. Yesterday, I thought I had a dental appointment, and they told me, take a hike. It's not till Thursday. So I have to go to the dentist today, which always provides a little bit of anxiety for me. I hope everything's okay. I think it is. But anyway, hang in there. Have some discipline. The market's going to test your patience. There will be some good opportunities when this market gets through selling. The institutions are just selling now, so you just got to get out of their way, and don't try to fight the tape. Don't try to fight the institutions. But like I say, when they're done selling, there's going to be some bargain basement quality stocks for sale. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Thank you for watching.